Welcome to the podcast series that won't waste your time, but will definitely make you think. Look, I know attention spans are cooked. The internet is drowning in walls of text and podcasts that ramble on like a drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. So I'm going to try something a bit radical, keeping this next 12-part series relatively brief. Not because I don't have a lot to say, trust me, I do, but because some of this stuff is so nuanced, it could and does fill entire books. And let's be real, nobody's got time for a 10-hour deep dive into every single psychological trap, social conditioning pattern, and self-sabotaging behavior we all fall for. Instead, my goal here is to plant seeds, to give you something to chew on, let it rattle around in your brain, and if it hits the right nerve, make you stop and think, oh, damn. This series isn't a step-by-step guidebook to life. It's more like a set of tripwires, little questions you can ask yourself that might just rewire how you see the world and yourself. Over the next 12 episodes, I'll be breaking down some of the biggest reasons people stay stuck, why accountability is a rare superpower, how influence actually works without exhausting yourself, and what it really takes to level up in life. I'll keep it sharp, direct, and hopefully witty enough that you don't feel like you're back in a lecture hall. So if you're tired of bloated, never-ending self-help content that talks at you instead of making you think, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Here's the list of upcoming episodes. Phase 1, Breaking Illusion and Recognizing Reality. This lays the foundation, challenges false narratives, learned helplessness, and perception traps. Episode 1, The Glass Door Problem, Why People Stay Stuck and How to Step Left, introduces the core theme of self-agency versus self-sabotage, sets the stage for understanding why people resist change and how to recognize personal blind spots. Episode 2, The Learned Helplessness Epidemic, How Society is Training People to be Powerless. This expands on why so many people feel powerless and how that thinking is reinforced by culture, politics, and social structures. Episode 3, AI and the Silent Hijacking of Identity. Are you still you? Moves into how external forces, AI, social media, algorithms subtly shape self-perception. Frames the modern struggle for self-agency in a new light. Episode 4, The Self-Agency Paradox, When Control Becomes Its Own Trap. This challenges people who think they're in control but are actually reinforcing their own limitations. Highlights false versus real agency, a critical step before moving into accountability and self-awareness. Phase 2, Accountability and Strength Without the Bullshit. These episodes dismantles misconceptions around strength, masculinity, and the lies people tell themselves. Episode 5, When Strength is Just Noise, the lies men tell themselves about masculinity. This destroys the extremes of hypermasculine posturing and passive avoidance. It defines real strength as a combination of self-awareness, discipline, and action. And yes, we will get into feminism as well. And not the feminism as in the buzz term, but true feminism, femininity. Episode 6, The Extremely Self-Centered Vampire Myth, Why Some People Can't Stop Sucking the Life Out of Others. This introduces the energy dynamics of self-serving people, which will help listeners recognize toxic patterns in others or themselves before moving into deeper self-examination. Episode 7, The Psychology of People Who Can't Take Accountability. Moves the focus from toxic external people to understanding the deep-seated psychological mechanisms behind accountability avoidance. Prepares the audience for self-examination in later episodes. Episode 8, How to Spot the Moment You're Becoming the Problem. Hits hard with personal responsibility, helps listeners recognize when they're the ones derailing the progress rather than always pointing fingers outward. Phase 3, The Psychology of Change and Influence. This shifts into strategy, how to influence, challenge, and help others without wasting energy. So, episode 9 will be The Right Question at the Right Time, Why Truth Hits Harder When You're Ready. Teaches how to plant mental tripwires instead of forcing change on people who aren't ready. Ties into why timing matters in self-awareness and personal growth. Episode 10, The Bullshit of Their Truth versus Reality. breaks down how people twist personal truth into a way to avoid accountability, frames why objective reality matters, and how to have a productive conversation without getting sucked into nonsense. Episode 11, Medication, Society, and the Misunderstood Middle Ground. Brings everything back to a nuanced, real-world discussion on mental health, medication, and when it's a tool versus a crutch. Phase 4, Execution and Moving Forward. This is the final episode. It's about actionable change, cutting the noise, and building something real. So episode 12 will be Cutting the Crap in 2025, what it takes to actually level up. It ties everything together, it moves from theory to action, and it gives a direct, no-nonsense path to real self-improvement. So, I'll see you tomorrow for the first episode.